47 people were injured when a car ploughed into that crowd in Liverpool yesterday during Liverpool Football Club's Premier League victory parade. 2 of those suffered serious injuries, including a child. Now, what's the scene like this morning? Is the Water Street area still in lockdown?
It is. As you say, the headline is that an adult and a child have been seriously injured when a car drove into Liverpool fans celebrating the club's Premier League title here on Water Street. Almost 50 people in total have been hurt, including 4 children. All morning I've been sat here at the bottom of the street looking up towards the town hall. The most notable thing when you arrive is the contrast between the quiet where the officers are stood on Water Street and the debris from the parade, which is strewn across it. It is mostly bunched up between the roadside and the concrete curb. You can see a mixture of beer bottles and cans, champagne bottles, bottles of water, spirits. There are scarves, wooden sticks which held flags, and a broken umbrella amongst the debris too. A street sweeper in an orange high-vis jacket has begun the clear-up operation, but of course can't clear anything beyond the blue and white police tape which marks out a cordon. It is clear how quickly things unfolded, and an indication of the chaos as people tried to get out the way of this vehicle. For much of the morning, a defiant red Liverpool football flag with the words Champions 2025 and a picture of Arne Slot wearing a crown surrounded by some of his players has continued to blow in the breeze atop a set of traffic lights just in front of me.
Now, you've no doubt seen video taken by people from their phones, some of it at street level, some of it from on high. And it's just amazing to me that nobody was fatally injured, given the speed at which this vehicle was allowed to rush at the crowd. Analysis of the video, I mean, the driver, and we'll talk about him in a moment as much as we know, was he lucky to escape with his life? Because there were really angry scenes around that vehicle.
Look, what we can say is police were clearly very quick to try and surround the vehicle and ensure that they made an arrest, but also kept that driver safe. So a 53-year-old white man from the Liverpool area has been arrested and is believed to be the driver of the vehicle, according to the police. They aren't treating what happened as terrorism, but it was certainly a very, very shocking incident for anybody who was here.
Now, the description of the man released very quickly last night, and in fact it would have been reported by those onlookers who saw what the driver looked like, that he was clearly a man of middle age, that he was white. They told us he's local as well. This was a reaction to the lack of information that was evident in the Southport killings.
I think what authorities have been clear to say is that sort of this isn't a precedent, if you like. Each individual occurrence they will react to in a different way. And but on this occasion, they released detail, or felt comfortable to release details very quickly, that it was a 53-year-old white man from the Liverpool area. They'd made that arrest, and as I say, that they were very clear to point out that this was not being treated as terrorism.
Yeah. Now, how soon is this man likely to appear before a magistrate's court?
Well, we don't know. Nobody has been charged at this stage, so we are waiting to hear that from the police. Generally, we would hear about charging later in the day, but you can never say for certain with these things.
Now, some of the questions that were being asked at the press conference last night, which I saw live on television, was this alcohol related? Are they saying anything about possible motivations or possible reasons? Can be driver frustration, all sorts of, I suppose, speculation, which they advise against. Are they ruling anything out except they're ruling out terror, we know?
Yes, they're certainly saying this isn't a terror-related occurrence here, that what happened was not terror-related. Details remain sketchy. What we can say for sure is that a car collided with a number of pedestrians on Water Street just after 6 p.m. That's from Merseyside Police. They were contacted following reports a car had been in a collision with a number of pedestrians on this street, Water Street. Their statement goes on that the car stopped at the scene and a male was detained. We've also heard 4 people, including a child, were lifted from beneath the car. That came from Merseyside Fire Services Chief Nick Searle. And as we say, what happened is definitely not being treated as terror-related. Police only define events as terrorism if they're considered to have been intended to influence the government or intimidate the public for purposes of advancing a political or religious, racial or ideological cause.
Looking at the video, it wasn't as if maybe brakes failed or something like that, because it made two different spurts. One, the initial contact, and then it appeared an attempt to get away. That's what it appeared from the video. But again, perhaps we'll wait for more detail before we explore that option. But already there are some criticisms of the police force, because people claiming that the area might have been under-policed. I don't know what the resources of the Liverpool Police Service would be, but 1 million people in the city would be demanding on any police force.
Around about 10,000 people, I think, across the city. It was a 10-mile route, lined the streets and were several deep. And the policing, they were attempting to cover as much of the route as possible. In this area, right in the city centre, this is where the largest police presence would have been. So yeah, I think they would be looking to make sure that this area of the route was among the most heavily policed areas of the parade yesterday.
So finally, I should ask you, Michael, about the mood in the city. You know, you had a great occasion of celebration because, you know, levelling with Manchester United in the number of titles taken, and, you know, being able to celebrate, if you look back to COVID when you couldn't really celebrate in this way, being able to celebrate and then have that celebration turn to tragedy.
Yeah, I think sort of shock, surprise, dismay would probably sum up the mood in Liverpool this morning. There's a disbelief, really, that something so joyous like the celebration of a Premier League title could turn into something so tragic as this, where people have been injured. Almost 50 people in total needed some sort of treatment, 27 of them taken to hospital. And as we say, an adult and a child seriously hurt. 4 people had to be freed from under a vehicle, according to the fire service. So I think it is really a sense of disbelief that a celebration like this could turn into what for many people caught up on what happened on Water Street was such a tragic event.